All right, it is the top of the hour, and this is the City of Lawrence Board of Public Works and Safety meeting for December 12th, 2024. One of our members I see is not present, however, the chair does recognize a quorum with the members present. So the next item on our agenda is the approval of the regular meeting minutes from November 14th, 2024.
I have no comments or questions or corrections and would therefore move approval of the minutes.
It's been moved. The chair will go ahead and second and call for the vote. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The minutes from November 14th, 2024 are approved. Next item is unfinished business, and our agenda shows that there is none. It takes us to new business, and number one is the approval of Resolution 5, 2024, declaring certain personal property to be surplus and authorizing disposal. And there are two items, items A and B, 2024 Chevy Tahoe, lists the vehicle number, and B, 2024 Chevy Tahoe, also with the vehicle number. Chief, you want to discuss this with us, please?
Good evening. How's everyone doing?
Great.
Well, thank you.
That's great. That's great. The first two items that you have on your agenda are two vehicles. While our vehicles were in at our vendor's location to get new lights put on it, they were actually vandalized and by arson. So a woman went in behind the locked gate, went in there, set two vehicles on fire. Not saying it was Lawrence Police Department, they thought it was Lafayette Police Department. And so they set one vehicle on fire, caught the other vehicle on fire, and destroyed both of them. And so the insurance company has already settled up with the vendor, purchased two vehicles to replace those two. So these two we have to dispose of and give the titles to the insurance company and relinquish the claim back to them so that they can go ahead and get that off their books. So, but the lady, she was arrested and all that. I think she's still pending charges or adjudication of those cases, but that's what happened.
And did this happen in Lawrence?
No, it happened in Lafayette.
In Lafayette?
Mhm,
Okay.
yes.
And why were the vehicles up there?
I'm sorry?
Why were the vehicles up?
No, they're getting equipment installed.
Oh, I understand. Yeah, you-
All of our police lights, so Indianapolis goes there, a lot of agencies go there
Sure.
because they have like an
Sure.
assembly line, and so.
Okay. Well, I think we answered some questions.
You answered all of my questions because I thought,
Mine too.
okay.
Yeah. Really? They don't, 2024 Tahoes have no value? Now you
Right,
explained
yeah.
it. You explained
Yeah,
it.
it was kind of crazy because at first we were going back and forth with the insurance company as it relates to, well, we might total out this vehicle, but then the other one's just a corner panel and some other damage. They were like, no, when we gave those vehicles to you, they were brand new. They were not damaged in
Yeah.
any way for any type of repair or anything like that. So the insurance company went ahead and totaled both of the vehicles out. So
Okay.
we have to sign
Okay.
off and get those replaced.
Thank you for
Thank you,
the,
Chief. Thank you.
thank you for the detail.
Oh, no problem at all. Thank you.
Is there any further questions or comments by the board?
I have no questions or comments, having all of my questions answered. Thank you, Chief. And would move approval of resolution number 5, 2024.
The chair will second the motion, and all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you.
The next item is the approval of Resolution 6, 2024, declaring certain personal property to be surplus and authorizing disposal. And there's a list here of a number of reserve duty weapons. Chief, can you speak?
Yes, so I believe this has been 3 or 4 years ago, maybe a little bit longer. The department switched our weapons over to the Glocks with the red dot sights that were more accurate. And so right now, our reserve division has never been able to catch up with pace with the regular merit police officers. And so now we were able to work out a deal with the gun manufacturer and our dealer, which is Kiesler's. And so we're going to get our reserve division transferred over to what we are currently, operating under with the police department now. So we're transitioning from the older weapons to the newer weapons with red dot sights. And so we have to dispose those, give those back to our vendor, and what they would do, they will actually offer those weapons at a reduced cost back to the officers. A lot of officers like to keep their weapons. A lot of officers like to keep their weapon, especially if it's one that they've trained with for years and years and years. And so they get that option to actually purchase those back. The ones that aren't purchased, they still go back to that dealer, that vendor, and then they dispose of them that way, either through other sale to other law enforcement officers, but not, I don't believe, to the general public can actually purchase our weapons.
Okay. Any questions?
And how many total weapons?
I believe there's 32 weapons that are going back. Yeah, they show a trade-in value of like right around $8,000, like $8,800 on 32 of them, and then 9 of them for $2,565.
Okay, and
Per
our
person.
Glocks, like computers, there's Generation 4, Generation
Yes.
5, Generation 6.
Yes.
And what generation are we on
I
right
believe
now?
we're on. I believe we're on Glock 17s. I think
Oh, okay. So
around the
these-
same gen, right?
So
but not
some of these
millimeters.
guns are pretty old.
Right. Some of them I believe are 40s. So, and we're shooting 9mm.
Okay. Okay.
A lot more
Thank
accurate,
you.
more proficient.
I have no further questions and would move approval of the resolution as proposed.
Thank you. The chair will second and call for the vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Chief, thank you very much.
Thank
I
you.
think you might want to stay there. Because I think the next items also
Yep.
relate to your department. And there's a cause and effect. It would appear item number 3 is the authorization to proceed with purchase of 2, guess what, 2025 Tahoe. And for a price of certain dealer in the amount of $101,150. Chief, you want to address this?
Yeah, that's correct. As you mentioned earlier, those 2 vehicles that we're replacing, they have already submitted those over to Kelly Automotive, is where we purchase our vehicles from, and that's just the offset of the ones that were destroyed to the ones that were just purchased. And I believe there might be a typo. I believe those are 2024s, because I think the new model might come out a little bit later, but I could be wrong. But I can double check that, but I believe they're 2024s.
Rather than the 2025 models, which,
What does the resolution say? That's the only thing.
yeah.
I believe it
We
might
don't have a
be.
resolution for the purchase of the new ones. The
Oh, that's
resolution
right,
is
it's
the
just
disposal.
authorization.
Yeah,
Okay. Okay, so as long as the motion is made that it's, do you know if it's 24?
I would word it 24 or 25
Okay.
based on
Okay.
that. It's more about the amount, I would say, but in the record, let's do.
Okay, 24.
And it might be
25,
correct
yeah.
on here, because when we purchased the vehicles, it's that year previous for the newer model year
Right.
that we're going into. Just depends on how Chevy does their production. Sometimes they do it twice a year, sometimes they don't. So I believe the ones that we transferred were 24s. Like it stated here in the first one that was disposing, and then the ones that we're getting for are the 25s, I
I
believe.
would say that the vehicles as described, either 2024 or 2025.
Okay.
Is that-
And is it insurance proceeds that are being used to buy
That
the
is
vehicles?
correct, and they've
Okay.
already submitted
Okay.
the check over to Kelly. Actually, they kind of took a risk with the city, because they went ahead and just said, we're going to go ahead and make good on your vehicles being damaged. And so they've already submitted that
Okay.
underneath the city of Lawrence, and so they're titled back to the city already.
Okay. I have no further questions and would move approval of the authorization to proceed with the purchase of 2 new vehicles, either 2024s or 2025 Tahoes for the Lawrence Police Department.
Thank you for that. It's been moved. Chair will second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Chief, thanks very much. I think you'll continue to be on the.
Yes, it looked
It's
like
the
it's just
police
me
department
tonight.
show.
Yeah,
It's-
sorry.
It's the chief's show
It's
tonight.
LPD night.
Yeah.
The next item on our agenda is the approval of security agreement with Nelson Alarm for the Lawrence Police Department, Oak Landon Building.
So this agreement right here is just to get the Old Oak Landon building alarmed. Right now, we're going to be housing a few vehicles there inside the Oak Landon building that need to be protected by an alarm system. And so we had to go into an agreement with them as well so that we can get that updated there on site. So yeah, that's the only thing. We already use Nelson for our indoor range. We use Nelson's for our police station as well. So this is just making sure we get that location under security.
Any questions?
I have no questions and therefore would move approval of the security agreement with Nelson Alarm for the Oak Landon building.
Some new chair will second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item is item 5, approval of security agreement with Nelson Alarm for Lawrence Police Department shooting range.
Yeah, so that's, so right now our shooting range has some kind of outdated equipment, doesn't allow us the ability to remote into that facility to turn it on and turn it off. And so we're updating a couple of components there. One is the audible alarm. The other one is like the keypad where they can, we can actually punch in the keypad right now. If you go over there now, and it's one of those outdated keypads that has the little bitty dials and all that type of stuff, and it's hard to put people in that system and out of that system. So it's just updating the software on there and continue with our agreement with Nelson Alarm.
Okay. Any other questions?
I have no questions or comments and would therefore move approval of the security agreement with Nelson Alarm for the LPD shooting range.
Moved. The chair will second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Chief, thank you very much.
So thank you so much.
The next item on our agenda is item number 6, which is the approval of the 2025 meeting schedule for the Board of Public Works and Safety. I believe that's been circulated by our secretary.
Yep. I just want to point out, there's only one meeting scheduled for November because of the Thanksgiving holiday. The last 5 years in a row, we've ended up canceling that. So I just didn't put it on the schedule. And the same for December. The 4th Thursday is actually Christmas Day. So again, we've canceled that the last 5 years too. So I figured there was no need to schedule it. If we decide we need to have one, we can put it on there, as long as we do so with proper notice.
Of course. All right, well, I appreciate that. Any questions on the schedule?
I move approval of the 2025 meeting schedule.
Thank you. It's been moved. The chair will second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. The 2025 meeting schedule is approved.
Okay.
Comments from administration. Madam City Attorney, would you mind, the reason I bring this up is that the mayor called me about an hour ago vis-a-vis the procurement policy for federal
Correct.
grants that we've been working on. And
Sure.
if you could just update, we've had some email correspondence as late as this afternoon. Just to bring an update, get that on, she wanted to get it on record.
Get it on record, okay.
Discuss this.
Yes, so we would like to, hopefully if the board is able to meet one last time before the end of the year, go ahead and get this procurement policy for federal grants passed and approved by the board by year end. And so it's completed. Chairman Perrin and I believe Board Secretary Renee also have copies of it already, so.
Is there any issues, Madam Secretary, vis-a-vis the
Well-
meeting yet this year?
We'll have to have Mary do that meeting.
Okay.
I'm in training that day
Okay,
and won't be back into town in time for the meeting, so we can set it up and Mary can run it for us.
Okay.
No
okay.
problem.
And I think it'll be a simple one.
Yeah,
A simple
just a
one. And
real
so we'll
quick-
have it, you'll have that in front of you.
Okay.
Well in advance. It's ready now for you
Yeah.
to take a look, as I mentioned.
Okay.
There were a couple, I know you had one question and I'll respond back
Sure.
about that one, for a question that I had,
Yeah,
but,
For the benefit of the board, Barb, you'll recall, we met with the State Board of Accounts.
That's what I was going to
Yeah,
ask.
that's
Is this
the-
as a result? Is
Yeah.
this the A133? Does
this
it
is,
have to do with the federal audit?
right, from 2022.
Right,
Mhm.
right.
Right,
So what happened, Barb, just by way of background, they did make the recommendation that we adopt a policy. So I followed up with with the people we met with at State Board of Accounts, asked them, do you have, some model language that we could borrow or use? They did provide that, and it was from it was a redacted version from another city here in Indiana. That city remained unnamed because when I went to make a copy, the redaction showed through, but I'm not gonna go on record to say what city
Right.
that was. So we've been trying to get that in proper, basically the language was acceptable to all of us internally. And so it'll be before you on the agenda. I think you were copied on some of that, but I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
can someone go ahead and send me,
Definitely.
Amber, would you?
Yeah,
would you
I
do
will.
that?
yeah.
And so the resolution's prepared, the actual policy is prepared. Altogether, the resolution policy is about 13 pages.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah,
Yep.
just some very traditional standard that I'm sure you've
Yeah.
seen
It
too,
was-
with the
it-
policy language.
The main change in the language was that the city that had adopted this, that the State Board of Accounts said, well, here's a model, was a city of the third class, which has a clerk treasurer rather than a controller, so it made reference to the clerk treasurer. We made those changes. And Madam City Attorney, I think there's one other thing, that there was a misspelling.
Yeah, of risk, just had an E on the end, so.
Risk.
Somebody was
RAS.
in France that.
Right, exactly,
It was
risque,
I was
right.
thinking- I was thinking
Ooh
the
la
same,
la.
same thing, but
Yeah.
nevertheless, we'll do.
Right, so we'll get
here
that
in
off
Lawrence,
there.
We'll
Yep.
spell it correctly.
Yep, so everything is tailored now to the city of Lawrence as
Very
well.
I'll go ahead and get the notice for the special meeting
Okay,
and agenda and all of that put out and on your guys' calendar. That'll happen on Monday.
And then,
We had a meeting scheduled for the 26th anyway, didn't we, or were we
We
going
had a
to
meeting
cancel it?
scheduled for, I believe it was the 26th. Yes, the 26th. So it's just,
we're gonna move that
because we are moving it, we still have to do a notice. I just want to make sure the
Okay.
public's aware.
Moving, what do you mean moving it?
to the 19th.
From the 26th to the 19th, we're closed on the 26th. So next Thursday will be the meeting.
Okay, is there a third board member?
Zach is still on the board.
Okay, because I may not be available. That completely missed me,
Okay.
that we were moving it to the 19th.
Which is next Thursday.
Right,
Okay.
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 is there
Well,
another
I'll-
day that may work, or earlier in the day, or just to make sure that we have the quorum, because we won't be able to,
I will
Approve it if we don't.
communicate with
Okay.
the board and see what date, what time.
okay,
We'll figure that out.
Yeah,
okay.
I'll work on that Monday when I'm back.
Okay, and even if it's after the holidays, that also, I think that Monday is the 30th,
Yeah,
maybe, I don't know, so whatever works for you guys, but
okay.
thank you.
Fair enough.
Thank you.
Anything else, any other administrative
No,
comments?
nothing else from the administration.
Well, thank you so much.
Thank you.
For everything. Next item then would be the citizen comments. Is there anybody in the audience that would like to address the board this evening? Anything we can answer or help you with? Anybody online, Madam Secretary?
No.
Okay. There being none, that takes us to adjournment. And,
I move adjournment.
It's been moved. I'll second. All those in favor say aye.